Prince Caspian, a novel by C.S Lewis. There were once 4 children on a train platform ready to go off to boarding school. The youngest, her name was Lucy. Then the second oldest, her name was Susan. Then the second youngest, his name was Edmund. And last but not least, the oldest, whose name was Peter. They were sad because they had to go back to boarding school, and they didn't want to because they had had some great adventures in the land of Narnia, and they wanted to keep having them instead of going back off to boarding school. But then something crazy started to happen. Lucy started to feel a tug, an invisible force pulling her somewhere that they did not know, and Lucy was gone. The same sensation started happening to Edmund. He was getting pulled by an invisible force, and that he too had disappeared. The next happened to Susan. She tried to think of what to do, but had no time, for the force pulled her away, quick as that. Last but not least was Peter. He was kind of scared, but the force was too strong. He was pulled away and was soon gone, the train station empty. The children were in a land that was unfamiliar to them. They were on a beach, but soon they decided to explore. And they soon found a river. They soon also found some ruins of an old castle, it looked like. They were troubled to find out that it was the ruins of their old castle, Caerparvel, where there were once high kings and queens and ruled the land of Narnia. They soon decided to set up camp and stay. But soon they met a short man who they would later find out was a dwarf, and his name was Trumpkin. He was to be punished for something he had done. But really, he wasn't bad, and he decided to tell them a story. But first, he would cook them a proper breakfast, then start the story. He told them of a prince named Caspian, who was denied his right to the throne because of his evil uncle. His uncle was the king of Narnia at the moment. Caspian was taught of a lion named Aslan, who the children knew, and talking beasts. The dwarf told them that the prince planned to overthrow his uncle, and that this was happening right now at the stone table, or Aslan's house. The children were ready to go, grab their special items from the vaults, and were off at Aslan's house in a few days' time. They soon met Prince Caspian, and they started a plan. Peter was troubled when he found that they were losing and came up with a plan. The boys wrote up a letter and sent it to the king, for the girls were somewhere else. The note was about a one-on-one battle between the king and Peter. The king agreed, and they were soon in armor. Peter and the king. Peter soon had won the battle, and the king was dead. The girls, on the other hand, were at a bridge, planning to ask the river spirits to collapse it so the army would not get through. They had soon won, and Aslan had appeared. He created a great banquet for the children and all the creatures. But soon it was indeed time to return home. The first that went through was Susan, through an enchanted doorway Aslan had made for them. And soon Susan was gone, just like the invisible pole. Peter, as soon as he came, he was gone. The next to leave was Edmund. Edmund stepped through the door frame, and he soon was gone. Lucy, the first to discover Narnia, went through the door and was gone. And soon the children, after Lucy had disappeared, all appeared back on the train station, as if nothing had ever happened.